Pay attention, you bastards.
What up, y'all? Welcome back. So I want to dive into this whole situation with this Austin mass shooter. For those of you who have not heard or have not seen this, there was a crazy shooting in Austin, Texas, where three people got killed. There was 14 injured. This guy, he pretty much just shot up a bar. I want to say he's a Nigerian guy. I want to say his name is Ndiaga Diagne. He's actually from Senegal. And pretty much he just went off, and they're trying to tie it to a terrorist attack, and they're still trying to figure out if it's a terrorist attack because of what he was wearing. It said Allah and things like that. But I want to kind of dive into it. If you're not privy on the situation, this is pretty much what's going on.
Telling everybody about the Austin mass shooter, and now we have a picture. And this is what we're finding out per multiple federal law enforcement sources to our own Bill Malugin. The Austin mass shooter is a 53-year-old naturalized U.S. citizen who was born in Senegal and was living in Pflugerville, Texas. Material recovered from his person and inside the vehicle give possible indications of a nexus to terrorism, as the FBI announced earlier today. And remember what we said he had in his possession and was also wearing. The shooter was wearing clothing that said Allah on it. His sweater said property of Allah, and there's also known to be an undershirt with an Iranian flag and other materials inside. And remember what Representative Michael McCaul of Texas just told me last hour. He said, Harris, in my own backyard just last night, we had an event that possibly could have been terror inspired right here in Austin, Texas. This is what he was talking.
So this pretty much, as they said, he's at a bar and he pretty much just started kind of shooting. So 3 people have been killed and 14 injured after a gunman targeted a bar in Austin, Texas. Authorities confirmed police killed the suspect, who has been identified as Ndiaga Diagne, a 53-year-old man, U.S. naturalized citizen born in Senegal. Austin Police Chief Lisa Davis said around 1:30 a.m. on Sunday, March 1st, today, 911 calls came in reporting a man shooting at Buford's, a beer garden on 6th Street. The suspect reportedly drove around in a SUV circling the block when he began firing shots, which rang out from the vehicle's open window at people seated at Buford's outside bar. Diagne then reportedly exited the SUV and continued shooting as he walked up the street. Eventually, at least 3 responding police officers fired back at the suspect, killing him. Police said multiple weapons were found in his SUV, along with a pistol and a rifle found at the scene. Austin Travis County EMS Chief Robert Lukritz said 3 people died and 14 people were injured. At least 3 were in critical condition. Along with police officials in Austin, Texas, the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force has joined the investigation. Federal officials believe the mass shooting may be a potential nexus to terrorism amid the U.S. and Israel's airstrike attack on Iran. Fox News reported that the gunman wore a T-shirt with the Iranian flag below, a hoodie that read "Property of Allah." So I mean, that's exactly what it seems like to me. It seems like an actual, retaliation type of thing. And it's funny because I just did a video on this talking about the whole thing that's going on with Iran. So we're in a situation now. We're in a day and age where people gonna slide for what they believe in. People gonna slide for their country. People gonna slide for they religion, whatever it may be. It's gonna happen. So that's why I say with the whole situation with Trump is like, bro, I get what Trump is trying to do. Like, okay, well, y'all threatening us, so we gonna smash y'all. All right, but just understand once you start doing that, what the cause and effect is. You know what I mean? And I feel like this is a random shooting, but at the same time, it's not. Right? It's not that random because of what's going on. So it's one of them things where it's like I feel like we got to do better as a country. Where it's like we got to make the right decisions. That's why I feel like Trump be, you know, he pulled the trigger too fast. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, you don't, again, with every cause, there's an effect. So you pulling the trigger super fast and you putting everybody else at risk because you want to respond the way that you want to respond. So this clip right here is actually, you know, you can't really see anything, but you can just kind of hear what's going on. But this is the actual shooting.
Oh my god! What is going on?
What the fuck is going on?
Jesus fucking Christ! What the fuck?
Yeah, man. So that was kind of like what happened. And, you know, I believe this guy was filming from across the street and probably filming into the bar. So it happened, like I said, the guy drove past the bar, start firing shots into the bar, then hopped out and started shooting.
I've been telling everybody about the Austin mass shooter, and now we have a picture. And this is what we're finding out per multiple federal law enforcement sources to our own Bill Melugin. The Austin mass shooter is a 53-year-old naturalized U.S. citizen who was born in Senegal and was living in Pflugerville, Texas. Material recovered from his person and inside the vehicle give possible indications of a nexus to terrorism, as the FBI announced earlier today. And remember what we said he had in his possession and was also wearing. The shooter was wearing clothing that said Allah on it. His sweater said property of Allah. And there's also known to be an undershirt with an Iranian flag and other materials inside. And remember what Representative Michael McCaul of Texas just told me last hour. He said, Harris, in my own backyard, just last night, we had an event that possibly could have been terror inspired right here in Austin, Texas. This is what he was talking about. Brett, I was reminding Americans this is not a new place for us to be in terms of keeping our heads on a swivel. But it bears repeating. We've lost Americans in the fight on the battlefield, and protecting the homeland now is also something that we must be on the alert. Now, authorities have not tied this Austin situation to what's happening in the Middle East as terror related to that, but they are investigating it just moments ago, confirming as a possible terror attack. Your reaction?
Well, we have for ways to harm.
I don't know if you would say.
Yeah, nah, man, it's a sick situation, man. But it's, I think, again, like I said, with the whole just the Iran thing going on, I told everybody, I'm like, yo, you got to protect yourself, protect your family. You know, we in that time where there's no rules. You know, some people gonna feel away, hop out the window. You know what I'm saying? The same way Trump hopped out the window, start smashing on them. It's the same situation. Somebody hop out the window, start smashing on us. And I'm sure the same way that there's a shooter here that's down with that side, that's like, hey, look, I'm gonna respond like this. I'm sure there's probably the same thing over there. You know what I mean? Where it's like, hey, you messing with my people. You know what? Again, whether it's because he seems like I said, he's a black dude. So, you know, I don't know if he's from Iran or you know what I'm saying, or he I don't know what it is, but I just know that, like they said, he's responding, and it seemed like he's on that side. So, you know, stay close with your families. You know, try to stay out the way. We got a lot of stuff been going on out here, and like I said, Trump ain't making it no better. You know what I mean? He say he helping, but it seemed like he ain't making it no better. So all you can do is try to protect yourself and protect your family. The stories, you know, continuing to unfold. You know, these are the videos that just came out a few hours ago, but I'm sure it'll continue to unfold, and there'll be more stuff coming
corruption.
Out. So, you know, as it comes out, I'll definitely update you guys with everything that's going on. But yeah, man, we gotta just pray on it. We gotta pray on it. We gotta try to stay positive, stay protected, stay dangerous. You know what I mean? Because again, peeps, you never know who thinking what. You never know. Dude driving down the street starts shooting up a bar. You know what I mean? Like you could just be chilling, relaxing, and something like that happen. So you gotta stay positive and try to stay out the way, man. You gotta stay positive and stay out the way. But I hope that they obviously killed the dude, so the dude's not alive no more. I don't believe. I think they put him down. But the same way that he did that, I'm sure there's more people that's the same way. You know what I mean? Like it's more people that's like, yo, I'm on the same type of shit he on. No difference. No difference. So we gotta just kind of stay out the way.